the Everything But Politics podcast.
Hey guys, hope you're ready to learn about some random shit today because we got the GOAT with us, Cody Tucker of the Cody Tucker Show. Welcome, Cody. It's great to have you with us, brother.
Thanks, man. I've been looking forward to coming on, so I appreciate y'all reaching out.
Okay, well, here's my first question, and it's probably going to be the most important question that is asked all day.
All right.
Helen Keller's story, bullshit or not bullshit?
Oh, dude, you know what? I have a hard time believing that she was fully, because blind people aren't really fully blind. Like they can see a little bit. It's just like, I mean, for the most part, I'm sure there's some differences, but like, like Stevie Wonder, he ain't fully blind. There's no way. I feel like Helen Keller was not fully blind. I mean, maybe just not a big talker. That could be part of it.
Well, it's funny too. Why are we even taught about Helen Keller?
She did do a lot of work for like children of the, children who are blind and deaf, like helping to create schools that, benefited them, because obviously like back in her day, which actually wasn't as long ago as like you might think, but even then there's no option. Like if you had a kid who was deaf or a kid who was blind, I mean,
what do you do?
Yeah, you're basically like furniture at that point. So she did come along and do a lot of stuff for people who are deaf and blind. Now, whether she was fully both, hard to believe, but maybe.
I mean,
good story.
It is a good story, and it's like one of those things that I don't think anyone in history, I mean, at least in modern history that we're taught about, is anywhere close to comparable to Helen Keller.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know anyone.
Beetlejuice, maybe.
Beetlejuice
from Howard Stern.
Yeah.
I
mean, you seen those videos?
Beat might be up there. I mean,
yeah.
Beat technically could talk, but I mean, could he? Like, it's a little
could he,
different.
right? Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. Beetlejuice did more for my life, I'll tell you that.
I think that's a fair statement. So we got some other sad news today. James Earl Jones, voice of Darth Vader and Mufasa from The Lion King, passed away at 93. What a life, though.
Damn, dude, 93. Yeah, it can't be fun. He had to have been just ready to go. Yeah. To be honest, I thought he was 93 whenever I was a little kid. So,
right?
Yeah, dude. James Earl Jones, man, that's the best. That's the best voice of all time.
It
Sandlot, like.
Oh, that's him and Sandlot. I didn't even put that together. I just knew Darth Vader, obviously, but Mufasa also legendary, but Sandlot.
Yeah, Sandlot, Field of
Iconic.
Dreams. Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. Coming to America.
I never seen that one. Coming to America.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Wait, so you're clearly an avid consumer of films. What are you watching regularly for you to put out all this content and being so knowledgeable?
I mean, I've always been like that movie wise. Like I've always just found. Okay, so this is gonna sound kind of weird, or maybe not. I was definitely one of those people who, even as a little kid, would watch the ending credits of movies, and just for some reason found it interesting to see all the people who were involved in making this movie and all this stuff. And then the more movies you watch, the more you start seeing some of the same names. So you start kind of connecting, like, oh, that's the same guy that did this, or the same woman that wrote this movie. Like, and I guess there was something like interesting about that to me. Same with music. I mean, I've always kind of found the behind the scenes stuff to be even more interesting than the movie itself in some ways. So yeah, I've always just been kind of an inside cat. So a lot of just watching TV, watching movies. That was always kind of my thing, glued to the TV for sure.
Cody, I want to mix music with the movies. You've seen so many movies. Is there a specific person or band that stands out to you that was like, wow, I always hear their music in movies?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, because obviously, like CCR is a big one, like Credence.
Okay.
Any movie that has to do with Vietnam,
totally.
Like Fortunate Son or Run Through the Jungle, one of them's in that damn movie. I mean, The Doors. I've always been a massive fan of The Doors and the movie The Doors. And Apocalypse Now is one of my favorite movies, and it opens with The End, which is one of the best Doors songs ever. And then it's like that song on top of like a whole jungle bursting into flames. Um, yeah, like The Doors, Radiohead, like
Yeah.
Johnny Greenwood, I think is his name, the guitarist. Like he does film scores. Like I think he did There Will Be Blood and The Master. Yeah, there's a lot of like crossover with that for sure.
What on the top of your head, which film, like first thing, best track list?
Dazed and Confused.
I've never seen that one either.
That was really good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's with Matthew McConaughey, right?
His first
Uh-huh.
movie. Yeah,
Damn, bro.
yeah.
I just watched a Matthew McConaughey movie a few weeks ago. Ghost of Girlfriend's Past on the plane. Watched it on the plane. Dude, you gotta like those rom-coms. I mean, those are,
Yeah.
like they're like cute, hour and a half, solid 90 minutes. You don't really gain much from it, but like at the same time, moment like this, I can say I've seen Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, Matthew McConaughey movie.
Dude, he had a run. He had a run in the 2000s of just banging out rom-coms. Like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Failure to Launch. Like there's Fool's Gold, tons of them. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. Like movies don't have to be meaningful. Like I just because people ask me like, oh, what's your favorite types of movies or music, whatever. Anything that's not boring. If I'm bored, I don't like it. And it doesn't matter. That could be any genre, whatever, any time, that was taking place, whatever. As long as I'm not bored, then I'm good.
Yeah, like for me, it's typically I like true stories. I just feel like I do gain something from that, or just like characters. Doesn't have to be true story, but characters that are like, I guess, somewhat inspiring or they're just
Good
cool
mystery.
people. Yeah, mystery.
Yeah.
Murder mysteries are always classic. Although I feel like there's not that many anymore.
Yeah, what are some of your favorite mystery movies, Cody?
I'm a big like suspense thriller.
Yeah.
Anything with like a serial killer is always a good one. So like Silence of the Lambs, probably my top 5 favorite movies. It's kind of on there. Zodiac is a good one. It's like true story.
You got The Shining behind you.
Oh, Shining's one of my favorites too. Book and movie. Yeah, I like any like detective, like kind of detective movie. I don't know. That always hooks me no matter what.
And speaking of Kubrick, listening to your podcast with Mark Norman, the funniest was the Eyes Wide Shut Epstein reference. That's so good. I mean, dude.
Yeah.
How did that episode come to fruition?
With Mark?
Yeah.
So he started like liking a bunch of the videos and stuff, and I've been a huge fan of Mark Norman for a long time. Like his his stand-up podcast, like both We Might Be Drunk and Tuesdays with Stories.
Yeah, he's good.
So good. And then I don't really watch podcasts that much. I just don't have time. But that is one that I watch. Like We Might Be Drunk and Tuesdays with Stories. So I hadn't seen that episode yet. But people kept messaging me saying like, dude, Mark Norman just like shouted you out on the podcast. I was like, oh shit. So I went and looked, and yeah, he did like a whole thing, like where him and Sam Morril were like talking about it. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So I sent him a message and just said, thank you for the most part. And then we kind of just started talking for a little bit. And I was like, yeah, man, if you ever want to come on, like it'd be fucking awesome to have you.
That's very funny.
Yeah,
it was very casual. It sounded like you guys have known each other for a long time. Just literally, like wasn't interview style at all. It was just shooting the shit for an hour.
Yeah, that's usually what I try to do. Is just, try to make it casual, like just a regular conversation. I usually don't have topics like listed or so. I mean, every once in a while I might like put down some like bullet points just in case I like kind of go brain dead, which definitely happens. But otherwise, no, I just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, it's all good fun.
I'm seeing all those posters you got behind you.
Mm-hmm.
What are you currently watching or listening to?
So that's for music. I go through phases with music, like with genres or bands, where I'll just like dive into that band or that genre for, just nonstop for, let's say, like a couple months. Right now, I'm just going back and listening to a bunch of songs from my childhood. So like Limp Bizkit, Korn, fucking, I mean, a little Nickelback here and there, and then Creed. I have been listening to Creed so much lately. I'm gonna go see him in November, and I was like, man,
You getting ready?
I forgot how good that band is. They're so good, and I know people shit on them, but whatever. Yeah, so I go through like little phases like that, and then movies. I usually try to keep up to date with like pretty much any horror that comes out.
Well, I don't like that, Cody.
Yeah, me neither.
Really?
No, super anti. Since I was a little kid, I don't like that. Don't like the horror movies.
Really?
Get the heebie-jeebies, like, I mean, that was me as a kid. Now, like, I'm 24, so I'm at the point where I don't even consider watching them just from like, I guess the kid in me doesn't want me to watch.
That's understandable. I mean, I get
Yeah.
it. Like when people say they don't like them, I'm like, all right. I mean, I don't like action movies, and
Yeah,
it's a huge
I'm with you.
genre. Yeah, yeah.
Is there a
ahead.
horror movie that, also top of your head that you're like, oh, that one still scares the shit out of me?
Probably the one that scared me the most as a kid was The Ring. The Ring got me real good. Like I was, I don't know, maybe 8 or maybe 9 when it came out, and it fucked me up pretty good. I mean,
Looking
now
under
I can
your
watch
bed.
it. Oh yeah. I mean, just waiting for like anytime a phone rang, like when we used to have like a house phone, anytime that fucking thing rang, I would immediately jump. Like, oh, I got a week left. Yeah.
I only know that movie because of like the Scary Movie. What I'm talking about? How they
Yeah,
had that
Scary
in the
Movie
TV.
3.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
3?
it's
Yeah,
Scary
those were
Movie
good
3.
too.
Yeah,
That's
those were
like
funny.
that's going back to those. I used to love the scary movies. That's you stay home sick from school one day, you go to the video store, you get however many movies you plan on watching for the next 2 days because
God.
you're sick. You got to play the sick card for as long as you can.
Yep.
I used to watch as many movies as possible. Are the
Yeah.
movie stores, video stores, is that still happening? Or I guess depends where you're
Yeah, I
at or
don't
no
think so.
shot.
Long gone. I mean, every once in a while you might see a red box outside of a fucking CBS, but you usually got to scrape off about 2 inches of hobo shit to, actually fucking get the movie. But yeah,
Wait, so
that's long gone, man.
Cody,
Long
we're
gone.
we're from Indiana. And
Okay.
what we had was we had Family Video. Is that what you guys had down there in
Nah,
Texas?
In Blockbuster. There were Blockbusters.
Yeah. Blockbusters everywhere. We had Blockbuster, and then local, we had a Video Giant.
I'm not familiar. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it was just like it might have been, I don't think it was like a mom and pop thing, but it was definitely more regional. But yeah, Blockbuster was always the go-to. I can like in my head remember how it smells inside a Blockbuster. Like I was there so much.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so you're from Texas, where Dallas area, correct?
Yeah, the city's Longview, which it's kind of like a nowhere city. I mean, pretty small. I mean, it's gotten actually a lot bigger, but it's like not famous for anything. They said McConaughey, to go back to that. Matthew McConaughey's he's from Longview.
Cool.
That's like
Right,
that's the only thing that.
And Cody,
about.
You're from there too. That'll be another little Wikipedia thing in a couple of years.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Maybe.
So aside from the bandana, what's the most Texas thing about you?
Is that a Texas thing?
I think so. Being from being Midwestern, I feel like that's definitely Southern.
Definitely more Southern. Yep.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I could see that. Yeah. Besides bandana, I mean, I get told sometimes that I have an accent, and I don't think I do at all.
Yeah, you got an accent.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, you have a little accent.
I guess that you just don't hear it whenever. I mean, especially when it's your own voice. But
do you hear an accent in either one of us?
No, Midwest there is no accent.
Yeah.
No, like y'all could be from Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, besides Chicago. Like I wouldn't be able to tell the fucking difference. Missouri.
We grew up 40 minutes from Chicago.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. See, going into Chicago, that you're basically in like Minnesota at that point, like accent.
With the voice. Really?
Yeah, dude, the Chicago accent. That's like hardcore.
I feel like the Minnesota accent's more Canadian than it is Chicago.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah, I think you're right.
Right?
I think Chicago, there's like it's like a variation of it, but Chicago's definitely, it's not quite on that level.
That's so funny. So I noticed you've been doing some podcasts here recently with some porn stars, right? We had Lisa Ann on our show.
I saw.
She's become a friend of the show. Why do you think these porn stars, by the way, who are very friendly and nice and sweet, why do you think they're so in it with the podcast space.
In it, like how? Like what do
They're
you
just
mean?
very prevalent. They're do the
Oh,
shows. They have their
Open to
own
doing
shows.
podcasts.
Yeah, they're very open.
I think, yeah, that is a good point. So I've actually been doing that since the beginning. Like I started the podcast like about 4 or 5 years ago. And that was like the first guests I had were porn stars. And I've just kept that going. Like way before I started doing like the little history videos and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe like 60 or 70, maybe even more than that. Like
Really?
like porn stars. Yeah. I find that whole world so fascinating. And people have their own ideas on it. And a lot of people do not like that I have like porn stars on the podcast. Yeah, they fucking hate it. But yeah, I think they're just like very approachable, like easy to talk to, usually very open to talk about whatever, which I don't even really ask anything crazy personal. We just like talk about like taboos and fetishes and all that kind of shit.
So
like,
funny.
yeah, I don't know. I think they're fun. They're nice people. Like I've never met someone in porn who wasn't nice.
When you got a whole football team roster, 50, 60 people.
Pretty much. Yeah. Compound ready.
One in every state.
Cody, what was that clip I saw on your Instagram? It was, I forgot her name. One of the porn star ladies was asking you if you like gook.
Oh, Sarah Arabic. Yeah.
What did she ask you exactly?
It's called gooning. Yeah.
Explain gooning to us, please.
So gooning, man, I just had found out about that talking to her. So gooning is apparently a thing where people will set up like these elaborate, computer displays, maybe even like a little VR action going, and they will just go at it the whole day. Like they spend their day gooning. And it's like, I don't know if you're familiar with like edging, but it's basically like
Not familiar.
So edging is where you get about this close to, climax and you don't do it. You pull back and then you keep going and pull back, which sounds like fucking torture to me, but some people like it. And gooning is like doing that, but for like 8 hours at a time. And
I mean, is it, I don't, how does that even, who is 8 hours to goon all day?
Gooners. I mean, there's a lot of people on unemployment. I'm sure that they make up a big chunk of it. I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm gonna start calling people. You're a gooner,
dude. Yeah, it's a weird little thing, man. I did not know anything about that. And yeah,
I guess you learn a lot when you give 60 different porn stars in your podcast.
Oh my god, yeah, you learn that people are super fucking weird. For sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know what I'm. Sorry, go ahead, Evan.
I said when we had Lisa Ann on our podcast, she talked about fucking guys messaging. Yeah.
Parasocial relationships, which was new information to us, which is as explained by Lisa Ann, a parasocial relationship is a one-sided relationship where a man, like, let's say a man sees her on social media and obviously watches her videos. In his head, he forms like he knows her, he like beginning to love her. And then when he sees her in person, he's completely surprised that she doesn't feel the same way. So she said she goes to these like conventions and she deals with this, and people are shocked that she doesn't want to spend time with them or be with them.
Ooh, I mean, I think I might have been in a few parasocial relationships now that I think about it. Back in, like that was like all of junior high and high school for me was being in parasocial relationships. I always like felt like like it was a little one-sided. That's amazing. Right? Oh, I bet she gets it. Like I can't even imagine.
Dude, she's the Tom Brady of the industry,
without a doubt. There's no one even close. Like Jen Jameson is like the Brett Favre.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
Okay, so Jen Jameson was like the first. So like whenever I was like a real young kid, like I started watching porn like very young, way too young, I would say.
How young are we talking?
Maybe 7 or 8.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, 8 or 9, maybe. Yeah, 7 might be pushing.
Is this is this like virtually like a technology, or like
you have
is this
a phone
like a
by
book?
Then? Yeah.
No phone at all.
Magazine.
Really horrible internet that you could definitely not watch any good video on. So it was like super pixelated, or would have to wait like 15 minutes for like a good picture to download.
Or you knew the main guy, the Blockbuster. He'd meet you in the back. And he'd give
there
you,
was there was a little bit of that of like friends who like would find stuff from like their older brothers or something, and
That's
like
fucking
magazines,
funny.
kind of pass them around. But yeah, Jen Jameson was like Lisa Ann. Well, I mean, Lisa Ann was around then too, but like I don't know, she was like the first like big porn star, like huge.
Okay.
Like maybe in the 90s and like early 2000s. So she's like the Brett Favre, and then Lisa Ann comes in as like for sure the Tom Brady.
Dude, that is so fucking funny. God, what a
Oh, yeah.
world we live in, huh?
Amazing. I wouldn't change a thing about it.
Now,
Well,
Cody, I was just saying your opinion. Who do you think are the Tom Brady's of the podcasting space?
Oh, I mean, Joe Rogan has to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
Has to be. I mean, he's also been doing it damn near longer than anyone. I think the first podcast I ever heard of, like where I heard the term podcast, was Ricky Gervais. Ricky
Really?
Gervais had one. Yeah, I don't know if he's the first person to have one, but he had one way back when they were literally only on iTunes, which why it's called a podcast, because you could only listen to it on an iPod.
Yeah.
So like I remember Ricky Gervais had one, Adam Carolla, and maybe Mark Maron, but I know those two, Gervais and Carolla, had them. And then Joe Rogan came in like and really pumped it up. So that's got to be.
Nothing will ever beat Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes, where he just exposes the entire, like satanic Hollywood whole thing going on there. That was amazing.
Dude,
And
he's
they
the
never let him
best.
back over there.
Nah, he's done it. He's done it a lot. Like he did it, I think 5 or 6 times, and then eventually they were just like, "All right, no more of this," because he started making Epstein jokes, and that really drew the line for a lot of them, I think. But
No doubt, dude. That is
yeah.
so good. And like that's pre-COVID too. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I shouldn't say that. I think it's pre-COVID, but everything. I mean, what were you doing in 2020, by the way? Were you working on your show? Were you making this incredible content? What were you up to?
I had just started doing a podcast with some friends that I knew as just like an producer. Like they asked me to produce theirs, and I was like, okay. And that was like right before COVID started. And then COVID kicked in, and then podcasting kind of blew up, and actually kind of helped us out because we were able to like, all these people who like actors and musicians and stuff who not like big name people, but in the world, they're not able to do interviews like normal ones because of COVID. So like it was very easy to kind of sneak in and be like, hey, we have this podcast that's, blah, 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 make it sound professional, even though it wasn't, and get these people on. So we started doing that. And then I left and just did my own like pretty shortly after that.
Yeah, I mean,
So that was 2020.
you've been going hard for, I mean, almost 4 years, almost 5.
Yeah, almost 5. It's because we started like kind of late 2019.
What were you doing?
Before? Yeah, same question. What were you doing prior?
Working at a call center, selling for AT&T.
Like customer support?
Yeah, exactly. Customer service call center. One of the worst jobs I've ever had. And before that, I was working at Best Buy, which is actually not too bad. But
so you're like are you part of the Geek Squad?
I wasn't part of the Geek Squad. No, I worked in like sold TVs. So I was like in like the home theater department of Best Buy.
Now,
yeah.
What do you think is a common misconception about podcasting?
I don't know. I don't know if there's really that many like misconceptions about it, because I think people people don't really think much of it necessarily. I think a lot of people are kind of burnt out on it like that, which is not necessarily a misconception. It's the truth. Like it is kind of flooded, and there's a million podcasts, but so what? Like you like what you like, and everybody's going to have somebody who becomes their fan, and that's all good. Like some people are obviously going to have way more than others, and that's fine too. But I don't know if there's necessarily a misconception for podcasting like there is for like other forms of entertainment.
Yeah, there's also like a million TV shows and a million albums, right? That just continue. I mean, we're 2 years in, right? Our first episode was September 1st, 22.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have it like they don't continue. I'm sure you've seen it. They do like their 7, 8, 9 episodes, and it's kind of it. And even 7, 8, 9 is impressive. But once you get past 20, that's when like it kind of becomes a thing.
Yes, I completely agree. That is the trick to it. If there is a trick, is you have to just keep doing it. And you have to release an episode every single week on the same day every single week. You can't miss. I mean, build up like 6 backup episodes if you have to. Do what you got to, but you got to release one every single week. And
when do you drop?
Absolutely.
Tuesdays. Yeah.
Okay.
We're on Mondays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monday morning.
Yeah, I don't even know why I picked that day. I think because I don't know how to do like what's it, SEO,
search engine optimization.
Yes. So I don't know like how to do any of that really. And I think I just Googled what's the best day to release a podcast, and Tuesday was the first thing that came up. And I'm like, all right, Tuesday it is. Yeah.
We used to do Thursdays, but then we got like, let's get the week started right. Monday morning, post it up. And then by the time Thursday, then it's Friday, and the weekend comes around and it's already forgotten, and they recycle. So Monday became our day, and it was a good move. That was probably over a year ago now.
But I think early in the week is definitely the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Cody, so when did your content? Because you go to your Instagram and like the way that everything's connected yet so separate is quite amazing. How long does it typically take you to put one of these videos together? Or is it kind of like, how are you gathering the information? Where is this coming from, dude?
So that's what takes the longest. It's just gathering information. As far as like recording, editing, and doing all that, I kind of have like a rhythm down now where it doesn't take too long. Maybe like the actual recording of it and editing and getting the pictures, all that stuff, maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hours for each one. But then gathering information, I mean, I'm doing that all day, every day. Like that's pretty much, if I'm not, doing something else, that is what I'm doing. And I just I read nonstop, like almost have like a fucking library that I just kind of keep looking through stuff, just skimming through, trying to find anything that sounds interesting.
I would say that as your content has evolved, you've almost or turned into a historian in a sense.
Well,
that's
a lot of shit, dude. For. I mean, I went to
a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how much I really know, as more as I think I'm good at memorizing stuff. Like I've always been that way. Like, I don't know because I have people like, oh man, like you must be really smart. I think that is not the case. Like history will show that I don't know if I'm necessarily that smart of a person, but I just like finding out shit and finding cool stuff and connecting it. I like, or like having like a surprise. Like I like storytelling. Like I had a teacher in school, which I didn't really give that much of a shit about school, but like in high school, I had a history teacher who started the day, every class, before, like on a day that we had a test. So let's say Friday, the way he would start the day is telling a fucking crazy story from history, basically very similar to like what the videos are that I do. And then that was just like would end up being like a bonus on the test or something that had to do with that story, but that story wasn't related to anything. It was just like a crazy story from history, and it was so captivating because he was so good at telling stories. And so I've always kind of thought like, man, like I wish more people were like that, because I never had teachers that did shit like that. It was always boring. Like, here's the pages you read, and the test is on Friday. And it always sucked,
Cody, can you wow us and our listeners by giving us a history story that might be interesting for some of our listeners and us?
Ooh. Damn, I know. I'm trying to have to think of one off the top. Any certain like topic?
How about the Roman Empire?
Oh, I have actually I have some ones that have to do with like words that come from like ancient Rome.
Okay.
I have to find them. But yeah, I have a pretty good little chunk that, because I've found like all kinds of crazy stuff about like ancient Rome and like the little like weird practices that they used to do. And I don't know if I have. Oh, this is a pretty good one. This one, so this one comes from ancient Rome. It's so I don't know if you remember, but like on the periodic table, if you look where lead is, it's PB, which most people like, why the fuck would it be PB if it's lead? So PB is short for like plumbum, PLUMBUM. And that's why the people who work on pipes that normally used to be made out of lead are called plumbers. So that's where
Mm.
plumbers comes from.
Nice.
And then there's a Greek one that I found about ancient Greece. So in ancient Greece, there was a poet named Sappho, and she was like very, very famous, like arguably one of the first like well-known female poets ever. And most of her poetry was kind of writing about romance with other women. Like a lot of her poetry was. She was from a part of Greece. It was an island called Lesbos. And that's where the word lesbian comes from. It's because this girl was writing like about how much she wanted to, have sex with other girls.
When is all this like word like I don't know the word alphabet terminology, just verbal like verbiage coming from humans? What era was this? Because it appears so much of it came from Europe. Is there like a time period? Was it the Roman Emperor period? Or when was a lot of this like articulated and even created?
So Greek first, because the
yeah.
Greek Empire, the ancient Greece, like Alexander the Great was, Macedonian, but still basically Greece. That was first, and then that kind of evolved into the Roman Empire. So most words that become like anglicized, that turn into English, came from Greece or Rome, so Latin. And that's why like medical, anything that has to do with like medicine is usually either going to be Greek or Latin, because those terms have been around so long. And then Arabic. So around that same time, obviously, like the other big powerhouse in the world was the Islamic Empire. And so a bunch of words come from Arabic, like arsenal, caramel, candy, like words that is, to us just seem like regular English words. Those are all Arabic words. Assassin is an Arabic word. Like,
is that when you say Arabic, does that consist of the Ottoman Empire? Or is that separate?
Yeah, yes, it does, but it's even like earlier than the Ottoman Empire, I believe.
Is this BC? Yeah, BC.
It wouldn't be BC. No, not BC, because like the era of Muhammad is like, I believe 600, maybe 300 AD. I might be wrong about that, but it's something like that, because it's after the Judeo-Christian, it's after that by a couple hundred years. So, and then that's whenever like the Islamic Empire, bounces up and becomes huge. And at one point they were, the leaders of like science and math, like algebra. Algebra is an Arabic word. Like, yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. The thought of creating math is so fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Especially like basic math, not algebra. That's not big. Math, like subdivision, subtraction. And then who the fuck came up with calculus and trigonometry?
So Isaac Newton invented calculus. So what's crazy is that whenever Harvard, the university, was founded, they didn't teach calculus because calculus hadn't been invented yet.
Wow.
Because Isaac Newton invented it.
It's that recent then. That's got to be what century is that?
Early 1600s, like 1620-ish, I think, is when Harvard was founded.
Merrick, like Alex Jones would say, it's the secrets of the universe.
It is a secret of the universe. I took calculus, my COVID year in college, and I hate it. Was so fucking hard.
I hate math. I fucking hate it. I hate all math. I never was good at it. I'm way more of like English, history. Like that's all my kind of stuff. I like reading.
I can see that.
I can write decently well. And yeah, that's all. Like, I don't like numbers. Yeah, I don't like science, really. I mean, most science classes I didn't give a shit about. So like, there's some like physics stuff that's kind of interesting, but then you have to learn all this other bullshit that it never felt like there's no way I was going to use this shit. History, it felt like I could like learn something about how to be a better person by learning about history. You can't do that with math. Like, the Pythagorean theorem is not going to make you a better person.
Man, no, it's not.
Which that motherfucker killed. Like, he had a cult. Pythagoras, the actual guy Pythagoras, had a cult, and he ended up like killing someone in his cult because the guy in the cult like disproved one of his theories, and so he just drowned him.
That's got to be Greek, right?
Yeah, that's Greek. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of math comes from the ancient Greeks.
And you said you don't like math, but you do like writing. Are you writing often or much more reading?
Oh, reading way more often. I am writing, like actually right now I am kind of working on a book. By basically taking the little reels that I do and like turning them into like a book version because there's so much stuff that I have to leave out to fit into like
I would buy that in a second.
well, hopefully it'll
When that
be
time
out.
comes, you let us know. There's just that's just an abundance of information.
Dude, I'm gonna send you guys a copy for sure. Whenever, if I mean, who knows? I did not think it was going to be this difficult to write a book, which is probably on me for thinking that. But yeah, it is a real pain in the ass. So I'm hoping to have it done like sometime soon. But
How long have you been working on it for?
like 8 months, 6 months, not like a crazy amount of time. I mean, I think a lot of people when they write books, it takes like at least a year, sometimes like 2 years, especially if it's like a really kind of in depth, which this isn't going to be like super in depth. I'm just going in more detail than I do with like the videos because those videos are normally like 7 minutes and I cut them down to like 1 minute. So it kind of sucks to like have to leave out stuff that's still really interesting. And so I was like, well, a book would be like a pretty good way to, keep all that back in there.
You've given so many people consume and learn things through your content. Where do you soak up and learn from, whether that be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc.?
I mean, as far as for like learning things, I just watch a ton of documentaries. Watch the History Channel all the time, or well, I did when it was like actually the History Channel. Now it's just a bunch of fucking people like gold mining and stuff. But whenever it used to be like documentaries about like, I don't know, like World War II and stuff like that, that was always like super interesting to me. So I'll go back and watch a bunch of those kind of documentaries. And then I watch like a bunch of stuff on Netflix. I'm a big like true crime fan, like anything true crime related. So that's most of like what I kind of soak in entertainment wise. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of podcasts. I will listen to some like history podcasts and stuff like that. And some like, and then I just read all the time.
And do you are you buying books on Amazon or kind of just whatever, or Amazon anywhere, or is it whatever just kind of falls in front of you?
I love going to like thrift stores and looking for books because I buy so many. It's like, damn, I don't want to like spend $600 on fucking books. So I'll go to like a thrift store and just anything that seems like there could be something interesting in it, I'll just buy them. So I'll like leave with like 20 or 30 books. But yeah, and then I'll go to like a bookstore and I usually don't buy anything on Amazon or anything like that. I'll just go to like a bookstore in town and, just look through like the true crime or like nonfiction section, like mythology. I always think like mythology is super interesting. So yeah.
That's like mostly some Narnia type shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Greek mythology, Norse mythology. I always think that stuff's kind of interesting. Like
that as well. Yeah. So I have one more question, Cody. Regarding like movies, and there's like a lot of just everyone's seen this movie. There's a lot of not conspiracies, but like just stories about this movie, and I'm curious if you have one. The Wizard of Oz. What do we know about the Wizard of Oz?
I mean, there's actually quite a bit about the Wizard. So, I mean, it's not necessarily like a pleasant story. Like the filming of that movie was pretty fucking dark. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Judy Garland, who, obviously plays like Dorothy, I believe she was either like 13 or 14 at the time. They thought she was fat, which, obviously by today's standards, not even close. But they basically gave her a diet of diet pills and cigarettes. And we're like, you need to just start, ripping through heaters and just down in diet pills to lose weight. So she's like completely just sped up on basically meth the entire time. At one point, like the original actor who played the Tin Man, he had a super bad allergic reaction to the paint and like almost died, and they had to replace him with this guy named Jack Haley. And then later in life, Jack Haley's son married Judy Garland's daughter, which is like a weird coincidence. Like Judy Garland's daughter is Liza Minnelli, which she's like, decent, pretty famous. And she at one point married Jack Haley Jr. So Dorothy and Tin Man's kids married at one point. Oh, this is actually a pretty interesting story. So whenever they were looking for, so Wizard of Oz, is based on a book by L. Frank Baum. That's the guy who made the book. When he was writing the book, he was trying to figure out what to call the land So, hadn't come up with the title Wizard of Oz or the Land of Oz. He needed to come up with the idea of what he's going to call this place. He was looking through his filing cabinet and saw on the filing cabinet A through N and then O through Z, and saw the O and Z and was like, oh, okay, fucking Oz. So that's how he came up with the idea of the place. So he writes the books. He actually writes a ton of Wizard of Oz books. And whenever they go to make the movie in 1939, they're going through this basically thrift shop looking for a coat for the wizard to wear in the movie. They buy the coat, actor puts it on. When he puts it on, he reaches in the pocket and pulls out a little tag, and the tag had LFB on it, like L. Frank Baum. Found out that was a coat that L. Frank Baum, the author of Wizard of Oz, owned 20 years before. Which is just a crazy coincidence.
What a film. There's much that's come out of it. That's got to be the World War II era. What is that? 1940s? Yeah, first. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz came out in 39. So we weren't in World War II, but World War II was.
Yeah, it was underway. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, almost the exact same time, because the Nazi invasion of Poland was in September, and pretty sure the movie came out in June. If I'm remembering that right. But
Cody, got to give you a round of applause, because all of that history right there, I knew nothing about the Wizard of Oz other than I've seen it before.
Yeah, well,
that was impressive.
It is impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I watched it the other day, and boy, that movie sucks. Just not good at all.
One of the most famous movies of all time is what? One of the worst, in your opinion?
It may not be one of the worst, but it's just not good. I mean, I get it for the time. It was magical and shit.
But half of it's black and white, half of it's in color too, right?
Yeah, well, it's the first maybe 20 or 30 minutes. Whenever it's set back in Kansas, it's in black and white. And then, whenever she steps in to Oz, it turns into color, which is actually kind of badass, because color was barely even a thing back then. So that had to have been crazy to see that in 1939.
Cody, I got one final question for you.
Yeah.
If you could interview anyone for a podcast, living or dead, who would it be?
Holy shit, that's a tough one. Maybe Nicolas Cage.
Interesting answer. Why?
Yeah, that guy is just one of the most fascinating people on the planet to me. I'm not an actor and have really no desire to be one, but if I was one, that's the career I would want to have. He does whatever the fuck Nicolas Cage wants to do. He makes a ton of movies every year. I watched in one day 2 movies that came out in the same year. They came out, I think, last year. One was called Pig. That is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Just super deep. His acting is incredible. It should have won every Oscar, and obviously nobody even gave a fuck about it. Then he was in this other movie where he basically plays a beach bum version of John Wick, and it is the worst movie I've ever seen. So he did those movies a month apart, and I was that's the guy. That's the career I would want to have. Just full balance.
Jack Nicholson would be a good answer too.
Oh,
what a life.
Yeah, I guess to go back, maybe Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
or Kubrick would be a huge one that I'd want to talk to. That'd probably be my answer, really. Stanley Kubrick. Yeah.
Fucking cool,
I
man.
think so.
Well, Cody, one more thing. What's next for the Cody Tucker Show this fall? What do we got upcoming?
Just new episodes every Tuesday. I usually, don't record them crazy much in advance. So yeah, I got a couple banked up that are going to be coming out soon. And then, just keep looking out every Monday through Friday. Every day I post the little history, fun fact, trivia reels. So
exciting stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate you joining the Everything But Politics podcast. We're excited to, keep up with you and your fascinating content throughout social. So Cody, thank you very much, man.
Thanks, man. Y'all have a good one. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro. Peace.